Hello YouTube, it is YouTube here. First off, I'm gonna shoot a disclaimer out. I am making beef jerky in the air fryer. I am not making shelf-stable jerky. This is not gonna have any nitrate, or an exorbitant amount of salt, which means it cannot sit out. It's gonna have to go in a fridge and it will not last as long. So, even though I'm going to try to make this as safe as I can, do this at your own risk. First things first, I'm going to use this more than one meal. Okay? But I don't want it to go bad. This is Angus flank steak I got from Sam's, and it's actually pretty good. I used it for a stir fry and it was awesome. Oh, whoops. So, what I'm going to do is, see, the outsides are kind of fatty and gristly, so I'm going to cut them thin and make a little jerky out of them and then a little stir fry out of them. And in the middle, where it's really nice, is where I'm going to do my other stuff with. Because this one's way fattier than the other one is. Now, it's not frozen, but it's still really, really cold. So it should cut pretty easily. But I don't want these gobs of fat. So, like I said, this is not going to be, oh, excuse me, sorry, I had some pizza and soda. This is not going to be a shelf-stable jerky. This is going to go in the fridge and eat. And I'm not going to use a whole lot of salt because I want my dog to be able to have some too. So first things first, I'm just going to cut little strips of this, very small. And I'm going to check them because this end especially, jeez, I don't want to, yeah, that's pretty much, oh, that's just a glop of fat. That would be why I would want to cut. There we go. And I don't want to waste a whole lot of meat because, well, meat's expensive. Everybody knows that. Still have some, yep, still got some membrane on the bottom too. That would be one reason. Should probably sharpen my knife too. There we go. So what I'm going to do, I'll show you right here, actually right here. I'm going to just cut thin slices of meat. Just like that. And if they're really fatty, I'm going to cut the fat off and either use it for stir fry or something like that. Okay, so I'm going to clean this really good. Just like that. Maybe longer, but just a strip like that. Oh, sorry, I don't have my... Yeah. Now I'm going to get this done and then I'll come back to you so you don't sit here and watch me do this or babble, because there is a lot of fat in this. It's going to take a while to cut. Okay, I'm back. I made all my strips, right? I tried to make them all the same size. I have them in a bowl. I got them spread out. Now I'm going to say again, this is not shelf stable jerky, okay? I'm not using any nitrates, anything that has naturally in it, even like celery and stuff like that. And I'm not using a lot of salt because I want the dog to be able to have a couple of these too. Now these are going to be stored in a container in the fridge, and I'm not going to let them sit very long. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to use some pink salt. I want everything covered. I don't want a ton, but I want everything covered. And I'll do a little more. Just a little. Now some jerky recipes do have a lot of salt in them to help preserve them. So, but I'm not going to do that. I mean, I did a decent amount, but don't get me wrong. Now this is a little bit of bell pepper powder. Spread it out on there. Okay. Now I'm going to take, come on, there we go, a little bit of just regular old ground white pepper. Just like that. Then I'm going to very carefully use a little bit of jalapeno powder. This sounds weird, but the dog loves jalapenos. Especially if they're pickled. And the vet said as long as they don't eat too many, they're fine, because it's a vegetable. Okay, now this is some honey powder. There we go. Like I said, just one enough to cover everything. And that jalapeno powder is tickling my nose. Now I'm just gonna mix this up really good. Okay. And then once I get this mixed what I want, I'm going to throw it in the fridge for a little bit. So, and I'm going to clean up because I got to wash my hands now because I raw meat on this hand, so, and some on the table. So while this is sitting in the fridge, I'm going to get everything else done. So I'll be back in just a little bit. Okay. My meat's been sitting for a while. I'm going to just set it on a tray. And just so everybody knows, I did cut against the grain. So I'm just going to do one tray at first, and I'm going to start it off at 220, since it doesn't have nitrate in it, or a whole lot of salt. So I'm not going to make you watch this part. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm all ready. Got this all set up. Put this in on the lowest one. Make sure it's pulled away so there's enough room. And then I'm going to put it on 220 since I'm not using any real preservatives besides a little bit of salt. And I'm going to put it on for, well, you know what, I'm going to put it on just for 30 minutes. Just I know it's going to take a lot longer than that, but I'm going to check it. And as it gets drier, I'm going to lower it. So I'll just be able to see how it's doing. And I'll be back in just a couple minutes. Okay. I did put in the top to get rid of just a little extra. This has gone 30 minutes. And it is looking pretty good. Smells good. So I'm going to put it in.
Here she comes.
For Sophia knows there's meat, so she's she's been following me around more than normal. I am going to put this on again for 220. And I am going to go for another 30 minutes. And if it keeps going at this rate, I'm going to turn it down the next time I check it. So I will be back. Okay. It hasn't been quite 30 minutes, but just about. And these are looking very, very good. And if you wanted, you could actually take, actually, you know, I think I'm going to. Just a towel or something, a clean towel. Like I said, I use these little tea towels. And the only thing they get used for is food, so I'm not worried about anything. Oops. You can just blot some of the grease off. Wipe the bottom. Okay. And this is a pretty lean meat, so I tell you, the house smells really good. I'm going to keep that because I'm going to use that again later. You know what I am going to do real quick? Get a small piece. That's good. Still nice and moist. Still got a while left to go, but flavor's pretty good. I'm gonna put it down to 200 for 30 minutes. There we go. And then I will be back in 30 minutes. Okay. 30 minutes is up. Boy, it smells so good. And so, you know, get close so you can see it. And of course, I'm going to try one on the top. because I still want them to have a little chew to them, like. No. Still need a little bit more. They're good though. 200 for 30 more minutes. And then I'll be back. Okay, been 30 minutes. Ooh, it's getting good. And like I said, I am gonna check a piece on top. Take just a small piece. It's good. I do want it just a little bit drier though. So put it back down to 220 or 200, excuse me, for 30 minutes, and I will be back. Alright, this is done. All good. Still got a little play to it, some of it does. Still dropping grease. So, what I'm gonna do, oops, don't put my hand on that, is take one of these pieces on top, and I'm gonna set it right there. And I'm gonna pat the grease off. And I'm gonna take this, and I'm gonna put it on, hey, pork. 150. Alright. And I'm just gonna put it at 15, because once this piece right here cools down, I'm gonna see how firm it is. And if it's where I want it, I'll stop this. If not, I'll let it keep going. Just gotta wait for this to cool down, because this is what it's gonna feel like. See, it's broken in half. It's still got some texture to it. It still looks like meat. Not, dried meat. So we're just gonna let that cool down. I'll be back in like a minute or two. Okay, this is right where I want it. It's not 100% bone dry, but it is really good. So I'm gonna set this on the towel and get all the fat off it. Once it cools down, I'm gonna put it in a container. I'm gonna throw it in the fridge. This was really good, but like I said at the beginning, it is not shelf stable. Part of the reason I did it this way was because I wanted to see how the air fryer would do for dehydrating. Because it said it could. It goes down to 150, so you can do meats in it. So if you like this, please like, subscribe, and I'll see everybody later.